Chicago Blackhawks of the National Hockey League are now official partners with Kalshi. It takes effect this week. Each side can use the other's intellectual property for co-marketing purposes, and Kalshi will be promoted during home games at the United Center and on Blackhawks broadcasts. First of its kind, certainly probably not the last as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
When did we become, so bitter that we can't accept another man's apology? We make mistakes all the time. And as a grown man, you have to say, I'm sorry every once in a while. And it's okay to say that. And the apology, I think, should be accepted. And in this case, I'm accepting it.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at this NBA Cup, you have to think about the importance. As a coach, I find a lot of importance. This wasn't a gimmick win. The Knicks earned it the hard way. And it matters in April as Mike Brown continues to build that culture in New York. And now, in my opinion, the Knicks are legit contenders to win the NBA title.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid. The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Hour number 2, Christmas Eve edition. We give you what you need, people. Some people went out last night, had a really good time, but Joe and Donnie, we had to get prepared for a show to give the people the information that they need on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and also into the weekend. Now, granted, we're not going to be here tomorrow live. It is Christmas Day, but we will be back on Friday to make sure you have exactly what you need to know and all the updated information on what you might have missed on Christmas and can look forward to this weekend. It's a festive time of the year, and we're giving the people, Joe, exactly what they need.
Best of us for the rest of us, Donnie. I am all about the upcoming week here, holiday week. And then, of course, next week will be turning the calendar to 2026, which is just mind-blowing to me. But here we are, Donnie, ready to go and ready to cash just a few more tickets, I believe, before we turn that calendar.
And by the way, usually every day, Joe, I'm in a dress shirt and also a jacket. Like, I'm feeling like I got a lot of room for, like, comfortability right now, wearing, like, comfortable sweatshirts. I mean, can we change this up for the new year, Joe? Maybe every single day could be a casual Friday on the network? What do you think?
I think it should. I mean, listen, I almost put a sweater on this morning. It was 66 degrees outside. It was cold, people, here in South Florida.
Yeah, we throw the heat on. Joe throws the AC on. No, there's no sweat. Maybe got a cut T-shirt down there, something like that today on Christmas Eve, the way they do. But let's get into the hottest topics, Joe. The early lineup, which deals with the NBA. The product sometimes teeters on really good and garbage. There's no middle ground, but the NBA is saying that there's too many teams tanking. I don't know how you get rid of tanking, but the one thing you can't do is, hey, your team really stinks. We're going to penalize you by not giving you the top pick. That doesn't work, man. It doesn't.
No, again, the whole system. And it was so funny because when David Stern actually swapped the system out to the whole ping pong thing, right? It was meant to avoid tanking, right? Because if you don't know who gets the top pick, who cares? But, that, like everything else, has evolved into teams and the league figuring out ways to tank and get as many ping pong balls as have. And does it help though? Like when Dallas had one ping pong ball and ended up getting Cooper Flagg in the first pick. So I get it in theory, but in reality, teams are not following that premise in any way, shape, or form.
Like one of the things on that graphic, Joe said, lock it down by like March 1st. So like the rest of the season you'll play. So that means NBA teams go, okay, October, November, December, January, and February, we are going to tank and hopefully win one game. And then we'll start to play bad. Yeah, your fan base will love that. That'll cure tanking. No, they'll just tank earlier and harder and then say in the final 10 meaningless games, okay, we can play basketball now. That's not going to work at this point here. Absolutely not. Anthony Joshua with a big knockout over Mr. Jake Paul. 33 million watched it. And by the way, each one of those boxers, Joe, clapped in around $100 million a piece. Who says they're not winning on Netflix over there?
And if you give me like a, part 2 of that fight, if they go at it again, you'd probably do more than 33 million. You got 33 million people to watch that, not even a real boxing match. Just watch two guys punch themselves in the face, break their jaws. Oh, yeah, and get $100 million. And you know what? If they do it again, you'll get 50 million viewers this time.
Like back in the 80s and 90s, like around the square, it's like, hey, man, for $1 million, would you like fight Mike Tyson for 30 seconds? Now it's like, would you fight a guy for 30 seconds for $100 million? Inflation, people, driving those prices up at this point here. But there is a market and an appetite for these YouTube quote-unquote boxers, and they just showed it there. There's a lot of money and a lot of people actually watching with eyeballs. JJ McCarthy, no eyeballs on him, Christmas, because he's out again. I can't keep up with this kid's injuries over the past 2 seasons. You're trying to be in evaluation mode, and you can't even evaluate. The guy's not on the field.
Yeah, and again, it's there's no shame in admitting, if you're Minnesota, that maybe we whiffed here on this selection for our future quarterback. Because really, to me, you're no different than what Tua is right now to Miami, what Kyler Murray is to Arizona, and J.J. McCarthy is now to Minnesota. I mean, they have purposely, in a number of times this year, Donnie, came up with injuries that nobody knew he had in order to, let's clear his head. Let's keep him on the sideline here. Okay, that is not a future franchise quarterback. Sorry.
You know what hurts them even worse, Joe? And I'm not saying Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the NFL, but I'm going to tell you right now, Darnold on the Vikings, they're in the playoffs again this year. Darnold on Seattle, they're fighting for the number 1 overall seed. You gave that up to make sure J.J. McCarthy was your future quarterback, and now you headed to year number 3 with J.J. McCarthy. You don't even know if he's your franchise quarterback. It's almost the worst case scenario, because if you whiffed and he stunk this year and played the whole year, okay, didn't work out, we're going to get back to the draft. You don't even have any answers that you expected to have 2 years ago that you do now. Something to keep an eye out for. Brooks Koepka, he got a lot of money to leave the PGA Tour and play in shorts and with a lot of music. And he's going, you know what? This ain't the best. And as Joe pointed out, the guy nailed it in, man, over the past 16 months. He really has.
Oh, he has done. He's blown up like a tick. I mean, it's just, there's nothing about being in shape. I've seen him down here at a couple of the Florida Panther games. He's just living it up. And why not? I mean, he's 35 years old. He's a 5-time major champion. And he collected $100 million from a league that is going head-to-head against the PGA Tour. And, oh, by the way, he still has a year left on his contract. And they're like, you know what? Just keep the money. Go away. We're good. We're good. Everything's good. We're fine.
It's an interesting scenario, because you're right, because his theory, and again, the press guys write this for him, like, I would like to be home with my family more. That's why they went to Live Golf, because they barely played any golf and they were home more than they were on the PGA Tour. So use that excuse now as, I'm just away from my family too much. Stop it, man. He's going to play on the PGA Tour sooner than later and just get reinvigorated, we hope. Ben Simmons, he's getting reinvigorated. I think everybody, when I'm a 8 or 9 or 10-year-old, I dreamed of being a professional fisher when I got up and when I got older. Ben Simmons goes, you know what? Hold the NBA, which is kind of funny there, but he wants to be a pro fisherman, man. Exciting times in there. What was the guy? Yaconelli? Who's the guy that used to yell at the bass all the time? Was that his name? Forget his name.
I believe that is his name, Donnie. But I mean, are we the South Florida Sales Angling Club? And the scary part is, I know exactly. I know where that is, Donnie. I know the marina. Yes, unfortunately I do. And now Ben Simmons owning a new team and boat might just be the tip of the iceberg. Another guy, Donnie, that quite honestly, the amount of money that he has been paid for the amount of basketball, quality basketball he has provided. Highway, you think Deshaun Watson is classic? This guy will go down in the NBA as just total highway robbery. Unbelievable what they paid this guy.
And another one of those scenarios that's like, is the guy really hurt? He just doesn't want to play basketball. Because when he was in Philadelphia, he was like,
Exactly.
well, how bad could his back be? He wanted to be a professional gamer. Remember when he was doing that for a while too? Now he wants to be a professional
Yes.
fisherman. It's great when the NBA funds all of your other things out here in the marketplace. The Chicago Blackhawks, they're going to partner with Prediction Market Kalshi out here. Look at that. Official sponsor right there of those Blackhawks.
Get used to it, Donnie. I think this is just one of many as they now enter the market of professional sports across the board. It's coming.
Market analysis, Joe, those predictive markets, a show on this network would be quite fun if we had that here. Now, the World Baseball Classic, Joe, Team USA roster, taking it seriously. Joe, how do you win a series against Team USA when they throw out Scooble followed by Paul Skeens? And now you had Bryce Harper said he wants in. This is it used to be a I don't want to say throwaway and disrespect baseball because it was a pretty good tournament. But now Team USA is like, we're going to go back to what the NBA players needed to do for Team USA in basketball. This actually looks really good.
When you get the superstars to buy in and want to compete, Donnie, it is going to be pardon the pun, but it's going to be a home run, and it is. And Team USA very much wants to win this, and I'm all for it. The fact that those names and those guys are willing to take time out of their season to go and play, I'm all for it. And Major League Baseball's behind it. You got to love it.
Yeah, on the global part of the sport, we're always looking to grow the game. This actually grows it. Like, yes, we love the World Series, and people watch across the globe the World Series. But when you have investment of each, organization / country in it, and those Latin American teams, they care about this. It's like the hockey players. Like, they win the World Cup or whatever. That care about a lot more than the Stanley Cup. Same thing. You give those Latin players a chance to put their uniform on that says their country, they're all in, people. It's be a fun tournament. Now, let's celebrate Christmas in Canada next. Cam Stewart's coming up.
The Chicago Blackhawks of the National Hockey League are now official partners with Kalshi. It takes effect this week. Each side can use the other's intellectual property for co-marketing purposes, and Kalshi will be promoted during home games at the United Center and on Blackhawks broadcasts. First of its kind, certainly probably not the last as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
When did we become, so bitter that we can't accept another man's apology? We make mistakes all the time. And as a grown man, you have to say, I'm sorry every once in a while. And it's okay to say that. And the apology, I think, should be accepted. And in this case, I'm accepting it.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at this NBA Cup, you have to think about the importance. As a coach, I find a lot of importance. This wasn't a gimmick win. The Knicks earned it the hard way, and it matters in April as Mike Brown continues to build that culture in New York, and now, in my opinion, the Knicks are legit contenders to win the NBA title.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid. The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Sweaters on. Right back in it, people. It's time to have some fun. It's time to rise and shine. It's time to get down to business. It's DRS. It's Joe Ranieri. And it is the man delivering all those gifts in the holiday season. It's Cam Stewart. Christmas in Canada's come early, Cam. Yeah.
got Joe. We got Santa Claus. It's amazing, guys. Yeah, I saw the guy in the mall, Santa. Now, these people are just beating him down, Donnie. Like, people are bringing in dogs and stuff. I'm like, doesn't this guy already get, like, danger pay for dealing with kids who, like, hit him and drool on him? And, you know, they might have something in their pants. I give this guy a look like, dude, when you're done your shift, I'm going to go buy you a Jameson. But, yeah, this guy was so beaten down. Hopefully we're not going to get beat down with the bets, guys. Lots of fun over the holidays. And I even decorated the set. Hope you guys are doing well. We do have a college football game tonight, guys. Huge.
Yes.
Huge. We took the Ohio Bobcats last night.
Action.
Didn't understand. Southern Miss would have helped a nice parlay. We did pretty well. But, guys, we've had a lot of unders. Like, if you're betting overs in the holidays, there's going to be a lot of people without presence right now. A lot of low-scoring games. Teams not efficient, as we saw with the Toledo Rockets, setting records for penalties, even though the game was close. But tonight, guys, Hawaii Bowl, expecting good conditions. Cal Hawaii, over 50 in this spot. I think we can get there, guys. I'll actually like the over tonight. I'm leaning Hawaii in this spot, but it's a very difficult game. I'm more down with, I got a 50 and a half I see, and people like Hawaii, really tight game. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but if you want some Christmas action, there's not a lot going on right now tonight, but tomorrow we get heated up, guys, with some football games and some monster spreads, guys. Holy, when have we seen games like this? 7.5. Like, it's just like everything. 7.5, 7.5, 12.5. Like, this is crazy stuff, guys.
We haven't seen that since the Argonauts were dominant back in the day with John Candy on the sideline there, Cam. Come on.
Ismail. Oh, here we go. Doug Flutie to Ismail. Touchdown.
Yes.
The good ship Argo beating the Stampeders as Rocket Ismail takes 13 snowballs to the back of the head. Yes.
And 13 million Canadian away from them. There you go.
Yep.
If we look at those three games on Christmas Day, Dallas, Washington, Detroit, Minnesota, Denver, and Kansas City. There's three quarterbacks that shouldn't be in the NFL and three quarterbacks that should be. Is it so simple to play paint by numbers? Because, man, it's hard to take dead teams with really bad quarterbacks, Cam.
Donnie, you're so right. Like, you don't do minus 1,200 money lines or whatever, but I'm just like, okay, I could put Detroit, Denver, and Dallas in a money line parlay to minus 124. Why not? You know what I mean? But there's one dog that I'm looking at, and I thought it was going to be Washington, no, Dallas on holidays. They'll show up. I think they'll win that game by like 13. Then I'm like, what are we going to do with this Minnesota game? The defense played well against the Giants, but I'm a little bit hesitant. Guys, one thing I know, and we bet on Jacksonville last week, it's a big number. Kansas City looked horrible, guys, but they're at home. That's a huge number. I actually might throw it down with the Chiefs plus 12.5. I know we have a third-string quarterback from South Florida coming out there, but that's the thing. Denver winning by margin. Are the Kansas City Chiefs finally going to give their something to cheer about? I'll tell you one thing. They'll want to, like, beat up Denver in this game. They've been at a low. Now, it's like a reversal of script, right? When Kansas City used to mow them down, maybe Kansas City can hang in this game, Donnie, but I got to be honest with you. These games suck. Sunday, I've already locked in the Houston Texans. It's one of my games. I know everyone likes the Chargers, the way they looked. I like the Texans in this spot, plus 2.5. Also got the Cleveland Browns at 4. It's now 3.5. I think the Browns beat the Steelers outright.
Wow.
Don't like talk about it. I'm taking them on the money line as well. That's my game. And I hate to say it, I think Carolina, you're getting 7 in the hook. Seattle's my team, but ask him to win by margin against the Carolina team. I'm looking at that. And maybe the craziest pooch of the week, guys, Indianapolis plus 6.5 against Jacksonville. What do we talk about? Wow. You guys talk about the Kalshi market. I like to buy stocks at their lowest point. Jacksonville's stock is now it's unbuyable because we're on them. It's too high. I will take the low stock with the Indianapolis Colts. I must be nuts. It must be the NyQuil. I'm getting sick, but I'm telling you, I actually might bet the Indianapolis Colts, fellas.
Cam, I got to ask you, man, because there's a lot of teams here on this bubble down in the last couple of weeks, right? We like Houston. It sounds like you like Houston to get it done. Detroit is hanging on by a thread. But are we believing in the Bears? Is this for real? Are we buying the Bears, Cam, moving forward here?
Donnie, I think and Joe, I think you have to look at the number and say the Seattle Seahawks, my team, are 5-1 and the Bears are 18 in the futures market. It is crazy. And we do this stuff for a living. You know, we're going to have good days, bad days or whatever. But when you come from a value perspective, no offense, and I love the Seahawks. The Seahawks should be plus 859. 5-1 is a horrible number. You can't buy in at that price. But I can tell you, you could sink your teeth in the Bears at 18. They beat Philadelphia. They're going to be tough. And I'll tell you guys, thank you for mentioning this, Joe. I'm actually going to take them plus 3 against the Niners and see if they can keep the train rolling. The team looks good. They could run the ball. They travel. What's not to like at 18-1? Are they going to go to the Super Bowl? Probably. There's a lot of, I think that's the whole thing about the NFC. We could roll dice all day. We could throw darts. Like, is Philadelphia a lock? No. Are the Rams a lock? No, they're beatable. Is Seattle a lock? They got Sam Darnold. We can go on and on and on.
Yep.
Almost any team that goes to the playoffs in the NFC can win. The AFC, that's a whole other story. I don't think, there's a couple teams I'm already putting an X through. I'm putting an X through the New England Patriots. I don't think they could do it. I think their defense is too weak, right? And I think Jacksonville could do well, but that's one team like and Pittsburgh Steelers. That team will not go to the Super Bowl. So in the AFC, I just mark those guys off, and then we figure out. I have a Super Bowl, Buffalo versus Philadelphia, Donnie. That's what I put together.
And this weekend, too.
Same Super Bowl, and I did one with Buffalo and Seattle because Seattle's my team. And that's the number I wanted more, but that's what I got. If there's a Bills Seahawks Super Bowl, there's going to be a lot of problems at SportsGrid because it's a lot of Bills guys and then me. And everyone's going to come after me. I got problems.
Yep.
It's me versus the world.
Separation Sunday. By the way, Cam, we know you love the NHL. And sometimes I look at the money end of things. You can make a lot of money around the holidays. And as a kid growing up, like, you're opening presents on Christmas Day. It's like, I love the Flyers. I love the Rangers. I love Toronto. I'm going to put that new sweater on. Let me watch my team play. Why are we taking off multiple days over the holiday break in the NHL? Does that make dollars and cents?
Makes no sense. Anything these guys do, nothing makes sense with the National Hockey League. The only thing that makes sense was Todani's point. Seattle Kraken, Pooch, all these other pooches. Take these holiday dogs when they come after their big hams and big turkeys, and they're hanging out at home with the fellow. And I'll tell you one thing about hockey players, glug, 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 like my free Smirnoff toque, they like to drink over the holidays, maybe a little bit slow coming out of the break. It looks like a condom.
Look at that.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, 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 from Canada.
Look at that.
To our friends
Christmas Cam.
Yes. I'm trying.
We'll be right back. Arvel Reese at 8%. I got to tell you right now, I have no idea who that is or if they're playing a joke on me, Joe.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Who is that?
Here, but I have no idea.
You even know?
But no idea. But don't you have to pick the Heisman winner, Donnie? Isn't that like the rule of thumb if you're going to take a quarterback? Is he not the best quarterback?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
When it comes to NAL, money does buy you talent, but it doesn't buy you chemistry, leadership, and wins. Look at St. John's, Kentucky, how they're battling. You need the right mix of experience, youth, and new blood if you're going to really tackle the transfer portal market in NIL and win consistently.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Predictive marketplaces. We already brought up on the show the predictive marketplaces are creeping now into the NHL with the Chicago Blackhawks. But on this show, we like to get down to some business and have some fun with some of these topics in a stock market type of a spread. You know what we're going to talk about, Joe? College football playoff championship. Hot topic. Great games on the horizon. The G5s are out of the way. How about this? To reach the college football national championship game, the favorite, no surprise, it's Ohio State. They've been the favorites all year. 53% chance. Indiana, 44% chance. I think we just saw that game just a few short weeks ago in the Big Ten championship game that Indiana won, but the market's telling you, don't look at that game, Joe. It's still Ohio State. Do you agree? Ohio State, after the first round of the playoffs, still should be the heavy favorite.
Well, I get why they are, Donnie, right? You're champions until somebody beats you, but can we all be honest here? I mean, originally going in, Donnie, half of those teams I put an X through, right? James Madison, Tulane, Ole Miss, Bama, Oklahoma, I think Texas A&M. I looked at those teams. It was like, they're not running the gauntlet here. The only teams that I think have a legit shot to do it is Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Tech, Oregon, and Miami. That's it. So I think we're going to get there. But now that we have this game and it kicks off, with Ohio State and Miami, why am I betting Ohio State in that market if I think Miami actually wins that game as a 9.5-point dog? That would be something else, would it not? Because the markets are telling us, Donnie, maybe we're giving too much credit to Miami, but defense wins championships. And I'm sorry, what I've seen from Miami leads me to believe that is the best defense currently in the college football playoff.
Yeah, Mesidor and Bain just collapsing pockets without any blitzes needed. It's pretty impressive stuff from Miami. It really is. And by the way, Miami, 13% chance, Joe, up 6% since their most recent game against Texas A&M. Everybody's loving the Georgia Bulldogs as well, about 33% as a chance listed here. You plop $100 down on the Georgia Bulldogs, Joe, that pays back $286. We're getting closer to a championship. Now, all the big boys, no G5s are left here. We'll see how much fun we're going to have on our way to a championship march. How about the NFL? The championship march sort of begins. Look at this. Which teams will play in the 2026 Pro Football Championship game? We just had Cam on. He goes, you know what? Get my dollars? Buffalo and Philadelphia. If you look at the marketplace now, Joe, there's a 5% chance that actually happens. A $100 wager for Cam would pay back $2,500 if Buffalo and Philadelphia play. And by the way, Buffalo and Philadelphia will play this weekend, Joe. Ooh.
Well, maybe a little glimpse into what's going to happen in the future here. But I don't, I do think in the AFC, I think there's only a couple of teams, Donnie, you probably want to focus on. The NFC to me is difficult because it's, who shows up on what day, who's the hot team rolling right now? I could make the argument like Cam did for the Bears, but the reality is how many of us trust that what we're seeing is real, even heading into week 17, and can they do it against the elite, the better competition, which they're going to have to do a few times if they're going to make it to the big game. So it's a lot of coin flip here for me in the NFC.
It really is. And also, this is one of those years where usually, Joe, you factor down to week 17, week 18. There's probably 4 teams you think can win it. And each division, this team's going to run away with it. It's so wide open, which is why you're seeing the price points on this market. The favorite, Joe, is Buffalo and Los Angeles. It's only 8%. The favorite is a $100 wager to win back $1,250. That shows you don't have 2 teams that you think are just going to jet their way into that final game. A lot of fun to be determined over the next 2 weeks. Playoff seedings could change those prices. But if you get in early on some teams, they end up clinching that number 1 seed, you're going to see a profit in hand before you even get to the playoffs themselves. Offensive player of the year, Joe, Jackson Smith-Njigba of Seattle leads it with a 60% chance. However, that's down 17% off of its high, Joe. Puka Nacua, 33%. He's up 26% at this point right now. It seems like it's going to be JSN or Puka, with JSN still a heavy favorite. What are you thinking over the final couple games? Because this is going to be decided on the field. Seems to me, Joe, who might win the NFC West might take this award.
I agree, but I would much rather have Matt Stafford throwing me the ball than Sam Darnold. So as good as they have been, I'll take Stafford, and that, especially with Devontae Adams and the hamstring injury. To me, I think Puka Nacua these final couple of weeks separates himself. That's a great price for him.
Yeah, it is. By the way, 60% chance for JSN, 33% for Puka. And then there's always Christian McCaffrey, 1,000-yard running back. And also, he will get extra credit points, Joe, if they end up winning somehow the NFC West over the final 2 games. Fun market to try to place. Big changes could happen with those head-to-head games. We'll find out as these games. Marvel Reese at 8%. I got to tell you right now, I have no idea who that is or if they're playing a joke on me, Joe.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting
Who is that?
here, but I have no idea.
Do you even know?
But no idea. But don't you have to pick the Heisman winner, Donnie? Isn't that like the rule of thumb if you're going to take a quarterback? Is he not the best quarterback?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
When it comes to NAL, money does buy you talent, but it doesn't buy you chemistry, leadership, and wins. Look at St. John's, Kentucky, how they're battling. You need the right mix of experience, youth, and new blood if you're going to really tackle the transfer portal market in NIL and win consistently.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Christmas cheer all over the place. Why do you say that? Well, the NFL is going to take care of business tomorrow with, you're going to have 3 games, Joe. We can't guarantee you 3 good games. But again, value's in the eye of the beholder. If you go tomorrow and pick those 3 games, and just say you're taking sides and go 3-0, those might be the best 3 games you saw all season long with a lot of fun, even though the general public might be like, this game actually stinks. Cashing tickets makes games seem great here. But before we get to those slates once again on Christmas Day, we got a monster game, maybe the game of the weekend. That's going to take place on Sunday afternoon at 4:25 from Orchard Park. That's the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts taking on Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. 2 teams that you could possibly see as a Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles were getting 3 points at the opening number. The Eagles now still getting points, but it's down to +1.5, Joe. Here's Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, who used to be the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, talking about playing the Eagles.
Very talented roster. They've done a great job building it, in particular the key positions. And numbers are numbers, and numbers can indicate certain things, but they can also, not always tell the full story. And we know who Saquon is. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. Their offensive line, very talented as well. Done a great job, with the coaching that goes along there with Coach Stoutland, and then the offense overall, extremely talented on the perimeter. So. As well as a tight end position, so it's a tough unit to stop, and the run game in particular is real. I know the numbers say, and I'm not buying the numbers. Yeah, they're very.
McDermott, as I said, used to be with the Eagles here, was a longtime assistant, but then became the defensive coordinator. Didn't have a great season after trying to replace Jim Johnson, one of the great defensive coordinators in the history of the NFL. Andy Reid did him a solid, placed him with Ron Rivera down in Carolina. Look at the guy's been a head coach for a long time, looking for a Super Bowl, at least making the Super Bowl, Joe. Good game this Sunday. Rain in the forecast and win, though. How about that?
Yeah, well, shocker. But again, you got 2 teams here that should not, the elements I don't think will bother them one way or the other, Donnie. But it happens to be, I think it's the one team that Josh Allen in his career has never been able to beat, much less cover. I think he's 0-2 straight up and against the number against the Eagles. He hasn't fared well against them. But hey, we have said it, Donnie, window of opportunity, right? I think the Bills' window of opportunity is closing. I think we've seen the desperation with the Bills when they face better than 500 teams, right? What's supposed to be the best in the NFL. I mean, the Bills, any team over 500 this year that they've played, they're 5-0 against the number. So the Bills seem to understand that. Forget about the Jets and beating we need to go out there and we need to do it against the better competition. And they're going to have another litmus test here. This is not going to be an easy game for them at all. But again, I think it's not over for whoever loses this game, Donnie. But I do think this is going to be a really good test for both these teams.
Yeah, should be a fun one to watch, maybe the best game of that day. I'll tell you another intriguing one, which got a little bit more intriguing, Joe. And why has it? Because DK Metcalf gets suspended by the NFL for the final 2 games, which if you're a Baltimore fan, you got to love, because the Pittsburgh Steelers have to lose to the Browns if the Ravens want to have any chance of making the playoffs and or winning their division. Aaron Rodgers coming to town to take on Shedeur Sanders. The weather, it's actually improving, which is kind of funny to say when you have 48-degree temperatures and only 12 mile an hour of winds. Early in the week, Joe, we're expecting cooler temperatures and higher wind counts, which is something Shedeur seems like he has to play through every single week. Is there a chance for an upset? We just had Cam on. Cam thinks that there's an outright upset winner for the Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers here.
Well, and he's not alone, because this was 4.5. Now we're seeing 3.5s available. So there is an awful lot of belief that, yes, Cleveland, division rival here, DK Metcalf suspension. This is a problem. Not to mention, I believe Calvin Austin is also uncertain with a hamstring injury. You got Myles Garrett needing 1 sack to set the single season record.
Yeah.
You got an immobile Rodgers. And by the way, 6 of the Browns' losses this year have been by a touchdown or less, and half of those have been by 4 or fewer points. So this is a very tricky spot for the Steelers. I get it. You get more than a field goal with the Browns, it makes sense. I understand why the market's heading that way.
Don't look now. 2 rookie quarterbacks playing decent football. Tyler Shuck's been playing decent football for a month. Now Cam Ward hoping to turn the corner as well with a victory over the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Tennessee is going to be home again as underdogs again, which they were against the Chiefs. This line opened up at 2.5. Now we're seeing 3s and 2.5s in the marketplace, depending on where you're shopping at. Shuck goes on the road with a total of 38.5. I like what I'm seeing out of Shuck in New Orleans. I don't know what I'm seeing out of Tennessee, but it has been getting a little bit better. Will I be betting this game? Probably not. But, Joe, do you think New Orleans should be a 3-point favorite on the road here?
Well, and that's the other reason why you're betting Tennessee, if you don't believe that, right? But these 2 teams, Donnie, to your point, are combined 5-1 over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Both of them started the season 3-21. And now the Saints, who have looked very good, and I've been saying that they have looked really good, but it's one thing to look really good when nobody expects you to win, and it's a whole other thing now where I'm expecting you to win. They don't run the ball, Donnie. They're asking Tyler Shuck to throw it 50 times a game here. He's going to be under a little bit of duress. Taysom Hill's your leading rusher. That's a problem. But I do think that Tennessee getting points at home may not be a bad look here.
Phenomenal game, Joe. Sunday night. We're going to see the Chicago Bears, who all they do is win. The Cardiac Bears going up against the San Francisco 49ers, who are pasting every team they play, whether or not it's good or bad competition. You're going to get good competition and also a favorite here at home for San Francisco at 3 points across the board. The total, Joe, opened up 51.5. We still see 51.5 in the marketplace. If I look at the weather conditions out in San Francisco this weekend, it comes up 53 degrees, Joe. No rain. 2-mile-an-hour winds, as good as you're going to get at this time of the year for a clean slate. San Francisco looking for that number 1 seed possibility in the NFC, and the Chicago Bears also actually fighting for a division championship and the number 1 seed as well.
Yeah, it's so funny how many people have just not talked about the 49ers and are just shrugging them off like it's, you know, they don't. It's all been Rams and Seahawks, right? But if they beat the Bears on Sunday night, and then they have a home game against the Seahawks to end the season, guess what, Donnie? If they win that game, guess who's your number 1 seed in the NFC? It's the 49ers here.
Yeah.
And there's nothing not to like about what's going on here. I mean, great coach team on both sides of the ball, but it feels like Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey and company, those wide receivers, Jennings, they are firing on all cylinders right now, the 49ers, and I don't trust Caleb Williams in a big game on the road. That would worry me here. I would take the 49ers.
By the way, you take a look at some of these interesting games in the NFC West. We just talked about San Francisco and Chicago. Then previous, you had Seattle at Carolina, also going a couple thousand miles, Joe. The Rams on the road to take on Atlanta. Monday Night Football favored by 8.5 points. Some interesting road stops for teams out west coming east here, Joe.
Yeah, no, it is. And listen, we gave the numbers out over the last couple of weeks with Sean McVay in the month of December. This is when he has his teams rolling. This is when he has his teams playing the best. And it was unfortunate last game, to say the least, there with 19 two-point conversions, one in which I have absolutely no idea how any of that was called. But they have to go on the road and handle business against an Atlanta team, Donnie. Let's be realistic here. Has got a lot of decisions to make in the offseason. I kind of like the Rams on a fast track here all day long.
Yeah, Bijan's really good. It feels like that is. But also understand this. Drake London came back last week. Wasn't a huge difference in that game, but certainly opened up some of the offense in a win for Atlanta. The one thing they have to know is Atlanta shouldn't be winning football games. They're out of it. But you're in self-preservation mode for that coaching staff.
Yep.
And look, I beat the Rams late. Raheem Morris goes to Arthur Blank. We'll see if it's more fool's gold at that point. But a slate on Christmas Day, not that great. A fantastic slate on Saturday. Some really good games on Sunday. And then you got the Rams and the Atlanta Falcons on a Monday night slate. Week 17 bleeds into week 18. So much goes into this week, Joe, because teams looking for the playoffs pretty much wrapped up. Playoff seeding completely up in the air across the board. We're going to flip it over to some NBA action and find out what the heck is going on in Golden State with the coach, James Young, up next right here on The Grid. Arvil Reese at 8%. I got to tell you right now, I have no idea who that is or if they're playing a joke on me, Joe.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Who is that?
Here, but I have no idea.
Do you even know?
But no idea. But don't you have to pick the Heisman winner, Donnie? Isn't that like the rule of thumb if you're going to take a quarterback? Is he not the best quarterback?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
When it comes to NAL, money does buy you talent, but it doesn't buy you chemistry, leadership, and wins. Look at St. John's, Kentucky, how they're battling. You need the right mix of experience, youth, and new blood if you're going to really tackle the transfer portal market in NIL and win consistently.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Christmas Eve edition of the Early Line right here on the SportsGrid Network. No better place to be. You might still be wrapping gifts, getting ready. Maybe you're on your way out to sit down and have some fun with your family, or you're actually upset you're going to see your family. Hey, man, some people have to just get down like that. It's your boy DRS. It's Joe Ranieri. It's Coach JY. Coach, a lot going on in the NBA we're going to talk about in just a few moments. How is your holiday season beginning right now?
Been off to a good start.
Yeah.
A little bit better than what's going on down by the bay with a little bit of drama, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Steve Kerr talking about Draymond Green. Let's get this first clip in.
How would you describe the the nature of the conversation you and Draymond had on the bench in the third quarter before you went to the locker room?
Yeah, we got into it obviously, and I took the time out just because I thought we lost our focus there a little bit. So we had it out a little bit, and he made his decision to go back to the locker room to cool off, and that's all I'm going to say about it. It's, everything is private, and I got nothing further to.
Would you? I mean, he didn't play the last 20 minutes. Would you have gone back?
All right, let's get a take now. There's two sides of every story that we want to get into. Before I throw it back to JY, let's get Green on Kerr here. How about that?
Draymond, what happened and why did you leave the bench?
Temper spilled over, and I just thought it was best that I got out of there. I don't think there was a situation where it was going to get better. So it was just best to remove myself, that's it.
What caused the argument?
Basketball, it's what we do. We play basketball. It's an emotional game. People lose their emotions. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is. We've been at this now for a long time,
Coach, we've all had arguments on the set. We all like to get our points across, but we never leave the set here when it's all going down. Draymond left in the middle of an NBA game. What is going on?
I'll tell you what, Donnie, nothing like Steve Kerr says, everything's in private when it happens in public. I mean, this is just, it goes to show you that even at his mature age, I guess I would say, Draymond Green just hasn't grown up. Draymond Green, the game before, got thrown out. Steve Kerr defended him, and that was his 21st ejection of his career, only to be topped by our guy, straight from Philadelphia, Simon Gratz, high school legend, Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
So now we're sitting here, the next game, and you get into it with your coach, and get into it so bad that you can't deregulate yourself. You have to leave the bench. Not only leave the bench and don't even come back. Now, obviously, Golden State won that game. But this is a Warriors team that is 15-15, got to a great start. They're in the 8th slot in a loaded Western Conference, and I don't know if this team's good enough to make the playoffs. So if Golden State's going to be anything of substance, Draymond Green's antics have to stop. He has to be engaged and playing well for Golden State. Otherwise, guys, they're not making the playoffs.
Amazing. Just grown men. That's an emotional game. Shouldn't you at this point, Coach, have control of your emotions, especially when it's against your coach or your own team? Like at some point, we got to stop making excuses here for Draymond, right? But they've given him contract after contract. So, you made your bed, Golden State, so now you just got to sleep in it.
Yeah, and this is the guy that's got into it with numerous people. We could talk about the on-court arguments he's got with Kevin Durant. We could talk about him knocking out Jordan Poole in practice. We could talk about how he interacts with everyone in that organization. See, here's the thing, Joe. It doesn't get old until you stop winning. When you're winning and winning championships, we also forgot him kicking LeBron in the nuts up 3-1, which got a suspension and allowed LeBron to come back and win that series. But we'll dismiss that championship that they should have won. But to me, at the end of the day, Draymond's just got to be a better version of himself. I get the fire. I get the passion. And coaches, you love guys to have emotion unless that emotion turns negative. And now it's become negative, and now it's back-to-back games. And now you go from Steve Kerr defending a technical foul in the Phoenix game versus Dylan Brooks to now trying to sidestep questions of Draymond's behavior the next.
Now, if we take a look at that Christmas Day slate, you do find yourself with a Golden State Warriors game against the Dallas Mavericks, but maybe, all these games are really good. The one I want to bring up first before even this Golden State game, San Antonio Spurs and OKC. We just saw last night a 40-plus point fourth quarter by the San Antonio Spurs, the dispatch of OKC by 20 points. You know OKC wants revenge, Coach, but they're favored by 9.5. Do they get revenge and cover, or do the Spurs go, no, we got your number now?
I don't know if they got their number, but I'll tell you this much. That win that they had over the NBA Cup, I think, opened up their eyes. Remember, that game, Donnie, they were down big, and they made that big 13-0 run. This is the first team that I've seen this year literally punch back. And not only punch back, keep punching. So now the bullies have now gotten bullied by a young team that I thought was going to make the playoffs. We started talking about all these other teams in the West, whether it's Houston or Denver or the Lakers, right? Guys, the biggest threat to OKC is maybe the second youngest team in the NBA, and that's the Spurs. And if Wemby stays healthy and gives you what he gives you with that depth, they're a legit title contender right now because I think they've learned how to win.
Coach, we take a look also tomorrow. The Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. 12 o'clock start. Your Knicks at home. 6-point favorites over the Cavs in a total of 238.5. Up from 230.5, Coach, in the Garden on the biggest day of the year.
Everyone should be healthy for New York. Obviously, no Evan Mobley for the Cavs. They're just a hot mess. Everything broke right for them last year. They've gone the opposite direction this year. I will say this. I like the Knicks to win the game and the cover. The big story we're going to have with Cleveland coming into the new year is, at this point, if it's not working, do they break it up? Meaning Mobley or Allen or Darius Garland. Someone may have to get moved to jumpstart that team because they're stuck in neutral.
Coach, by the way, I was taking a little peek yesterday at the Big East. I thought Villanova might be the right move over Seton Hall. They come away with that victory. The Cats could be back here. Big East basketball, you absolutely got to love it. Coach, thanks for joining us on Christmas Eve. Take us to the break with a jumper. Bang! Arvil Reese at 8%. I got to tell you right now, I have no idea who that is if they're playing a Joe Bowman show.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Who is that?
Here, but I have no idea.
Do you even know?
But no idea. But don't you have to pick the Heisman winner, Donnie? Isn't that like the rule of thumb if you're going to take a quarterback? Is he not the best quarterback?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
When it comes to NAL, money does buy you talent, but it doesn't buy you chemistry, leadership, and wins. Look at St. John's, Kentucky, how they're battling. You need the right mix of experience, youth, and new blood if you're going to really tackle the transfer portal market in NIL and win consistently.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
The tree is set, the gifts are ready, but the real action is just getting started.
What gifts do we have for you?
From the first tear of wrapping paper to the final whistle, we are live. Join SportsGrid all Christmas Day for the ultimate coverage. Don't just celebrate.
Somebody pinch me. Is this real?
Win. Merry Christmas from SportsGrid.
Entertaining on Christmas Eve, it's just how we get down to business at the Grid. We're not taking this day off. We're a 24/7 network, which means the people need the information even if they're not going to the water cooler today. When you're going over with the family today or tomorrow, you might be bringing up some hot topics, Joe, which we're going to get to in just a few moments. But I feel good on Christmas Eve. I feel energized on Christmas Eve. We're all going to be hanging out. giving up the presents, watching sports, which is a bowl game tonight also that might show up here in just a few moments and bye. But this is the time of the show, Joe. You know, we like to reach out to the public and ask them a question. Here's our favorite public poll. You want to get controversial? Well, maybe not so much controversy here, Joe. How about this question? Follow us at SportsGrid on X each and every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We ask the people a question out there that we need answers back. Is Top Gun a Christmas movie at this point right now? No, 87% live right now. That is not a Christmas movie, Joe. Do you ever sit down with the family and go, pop on that Top Gun? Highway to the danger zone. Is that Christmassy enough?
I'm speechless here, Donnie. I'm speechless from the fact that how many was that? 12% of people said yes.
They love it. Yes.
It's how many? 18%. That's even worse. Oh my goodness. Yes. No. I would say that I think the bigger argument is whether Die Hard is an actual Christmas movie.
Not.
And I mean, neither, by the way, we should just go on record and set it straight that neither Top Gun nor Die Hard were actually released during Christmas, but Die Hard's, the entire premise of the movie opens up during Christmas. So I think that's what everyone argues about is whether or not they consider it a Christmas movie. Certainly felt like Christmas watching it, though, Donnie, didn't it, though, with Die Hard?
Yippee-ki-yay. Can't say the rest of it, Joe, but you could certainly try to finish it all for yourself there. And by the way, we block things out. Like if they sometimes they used to give you a test where they leave key letters out of words, but you can still read the entire sentence without those because your brain just functions differently. Is Top Gun a Christmas movie? I swear I read that as Die Hard until we went live for this segment and I saw the hashtag Cruise on there. I said, wait a second, Tom Cruise wasn't in Die Hard, only to realize it was Top Gun when my mind automatically thought it was supposed to say Die Hard. Mine's playing tricks on me here already on Christmas Eve. We haven't even partaken in any festivities later that we will do. Now, let's get to the people what they want, Joe. You open up Christmas gifts. You want to open up a Christmas winner as well. Here's bye. Real slim pickings today, which means we extend the courtesy to our hosts and guests here. You can pick something that might not be on Christmas Eve. So, Joe, the floor is yours. It's Christmas time. Where are the gifts for the people? Where are you going with this?
Well, tonight, Donnie, I am they're actually playing, I believe, Belarus handball right now going on
look at that
Christmas
coming
Eve.
up.
But
I love it.
I will not, under any circumstances, be involved in that. I will, however, on Christmas Day, be involved in the association. And listen, I think when you look at the Rockets and the Lakers, they will have Luka back. And they do have Reeves back. And let's face it, Luka is not going to return and play defense for the Lakers. They just got torched for 132 points last night against the Suns. In the meantime, the Rockets on the road against the Clippers last night allowed the Clippers to boat race them and drop 128 points. I'm sorry, there is not going to be a ton of defense played. I think there's going to be a ton of scoring. I am taking the over with the Rockets and the Lakers at 228.5. I think this thing lands much closer to 240.
Ho, ho, ho. I like that picture right there. By the way, I just saw a tweet come out from a person that I do know that I follow from Miami, Joe. 78 degrees and 79 degrees are the estimated temperatures on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the Miami area. Did I get that right?
Stiff breeze, though, Donnie. If you catch it the right way, you catch a little wind burn. So it's dangerous here.
All right, let's get popping here. Cal, Hawaii tonight. Give the people something they need tonight at 8 p.m. when you might be struggling to get out of Dodge with the family. A 3.5 line has turned into a 1.5 point favorite for Hawaii now, but I'm looking at that total, Joe, and I'm buying what the books are giving. 55.5 down to 51 at many outlets. I'm going under today. Cal, Hawaii, college football, beard, hat, and all. Enjoy it, Joe. So there you go. We've completed everybody right up to the Christmas break. We'll take time off tomorrow, but we will be back live on Friday morning. So hope everybody out there opens and gets the presents that they want. Joe Ranieri, what do you think about that? Seems like a good deal, no?
I got to make sure the snow machine is working, Donnie. So, yeah, I got to do a little shoveling later.
Joe Reindeer and Donnie Right Side. We'll see you on Friday morning. Take care.